Good morning, and welcome back to Other Worlds Wednesday on Gaming with ADHD. Now, on Wednesdays, I like to take a look at some role-playing game topic, be it just discussing a topic, looking at a supplement, or an accessory for different role-playing games that I'm interested in. And today I wanted to review the new Shadowstock supplement for Shadowrun 6th World, Lofwyr's Legions. Now, if you weren't aware, in 2020, Catalyst Game Labs released the first in their series of PDF supplements. And the Shadowstock series specifically is about characters or character options or NPCs. So something to focus either on things that a game master uses, different characters, different things that they can throw at their players, or different things that players can use in the game. Now, if you aren't familiar with the namesake of this supplement, Lofwyr is the head and sole shareholder of the AAA corporation Saeder-Krupp. And as such, this supplement is going to focus very specifically on different aspects of the organization. Now, Saeder-Krupp was already covered in the Power Plays hardcover supplement that came out last year. But this is just focusing in a little bit on some different NPCs. Now, I do apologize for any of the German-speaking players out there. While I do have some experience with the German language, I do apologize if I destroy any of the pronunciations. So, just to get that out of the way. Now, with that being said, let's take a look at Lofwyr's Legions. So, just as a quick overview, it was released in January of 2022 by Catalyst Game Labs, and it was written by Russell Zimmerman. Now, he is the only writer on this product. Normally, I don't point out the writers because it's usually a team. Everybody's contributing something, but he wrote this entire supplement. And that's typically what you will see with the PDF supplements from Catalyst Game Labs. Usually, one writer is going to take on the project, and they're going to write everything from start to finish. This is 25 pages. Now, that does include the cover, but I am including it because it does have the largest piece of art for the supplement. It is PDF only, so you can either pick it up from Drive-Thru RPG or Catalyst Game Labs. Personally, I use Drive-Thru RPG. I like their app for both my iPad and my PC. Just makes it very easy to download, find, and sort through my PDFs without having to go to the website, dig through my hard drive, things like that. So I recommend that, but if you want to purchase it directly from Catalyst, I absolutely recommend that as well. Anything to help keep them in business. But if you wish to purchase it through Drive-Thru RPG, do look down below in the description. There will be an affiliate link, which does help me offset some of the costs for picking up these PDFs, which I don't mind paying for them, but like anybody else, I don't mind getting saving a few bucks here and there. Now, some of the things that we're going to see in this. So, like I said, it's the second entry in the Shadowstock series. The first was the Ingentus Athletes, which was basically different trolls, troll character types, and usually focusing on sporting-related type characters. And so this one is all about Saeder-Krupp and those types of characters. There are 10 different NPCs. There are 8 pages for rules on drakes. So if you aren't familiar, drakes are a sort of pseudo dragon type character, but they are actually this was news to me. They are artificially created by dragons themselves. So through the use of magic, they are turned. A metahuman is turned into this half dragon subtype. Now, that doesn't mean that they are permanently this type. It's just an aspect that manifests. So you do get 8 pages of rules talking about that, and I'll go into that a little bit more here later. You also get information about the Dragon's Shadows Initiatory group. Basically, this is the organization of drakes within Saeder-Krupp, and how and where they fit in, and then also the Drachenshatten martial art. Basically, it is a martial art type that is specific to the dragon's shadows, and it gives you a new technique, something for them to get a little bit of a bonus, basically for that Drake subtype. All right. Now, what did I like about this supplement? So first off, because there was a mess up in the PowerPoint, the short fiction. I'll be honest, I actually skip the short fiction a lot in most supplements. Usually, my ADHD is not letting me focus on reading the story, even though they aren't very long. It's just something that I have gotten into the habit of skipping over, but I'm trying to break that habit. So I did make a point to read this story, and I actually really, really enjoyed it. It was 3 pages, and it really gave a feel for the dragon's shadows. These drakes that are coming in as enforcers for Lofwyr. So I really, really enjoyed that. I don't think the story alone makes the cost of the PDF worth it, but it is one that I actually enjoyed. So I really I'm glad they added that in there. I really also liked the NPC selection. Now, if you saw my review of the Rogues Gallery supplement, one of the reasons that I actually really liked Rogues Gallery was because when I got to play in a game with Jason Hardy, he actually used the Rogues Gallery characters as our player characters. So they were great it was a great use of these cards for one-shots. And I actually took that same kind of perception when I was reading through the selection of NPCs. Now, there are a variety of characters, anything from security guards to researchers to executives. They've got deckers, they've got magic users, all sorts of different types of people that you would find within Saeder-Krupp. Now, if you want to do a Saeder-Krupp focused campaign, this gives you a great way to start with your characters. There's 10 different types, which means there's plenty for your players to choose from. But if you want to make it as the antagonist for your players, you have a lot of variety for your different NPCs. And it's not just a simple, here is a security guard, here is an executive. They actually give a name, they give motivations, they tell a little story about each one of the characters. And I think Russell did a really good job at describing these characters and bringing them to life. Whether you're going to use them as a player character or whether you're going to be the GM and run them as NPCs. So I think he did really, really well in this section, and I was very happy with it. Like I said, great source of ideas for player characters. Even if you want to just take it and adapt it to your own character. You don't have to run it exactly as printed. You can just use it as a jumping off point for building your character. Now, I also really liked the section on drakes. I am relatively new to Shadowrun. While I have, been aware of it and sort of looked in on it over the years, since I was a kid, actually, I really only got into it with 6 Worlds. So I know drakes have been brought into the game before, but I wasn't very familiar with, or I wasn't familiar with them at all until this supplement. So I really like that. In the supplements, I like anything that is going to give players a reason to do more with the game, to try something different and to have more options. I don't really worry so much about the balance as far as the new options. I just like seeing that they're made available. With this, There really were only a couple of new rules. Basically, it was the karma spend for your Drake, whether they were already manifested or whether it was something that was going to manifest later. If you were already manifested, it was a higher cost compared to half the cost for something where your GM is going to be able to spring it on you, sometime during the game. I think they did really well with it by keeping that to pretty much the only really new rules. Everything else, even talking about the powers, usually references back to the Shadowrun core rulebook. So they're not adding a lot of new rules. Just a couple of things to bring it in as an option and teach you, how to use those powers for the Drakes. So I really did enjoy seeing that. Now, as I mentioned earlier, it's sort of a secondary meta type that is available to all player races. So you could be an elf and also have the Drake subtype, or you could be a troll and have the Drake subtype. What race you are first can affect how you manifest as a Drake as well. So I thought that was interesting. And then they also give some information about what type of dragon, what kind of dragon is your progenitor for your Drake type. So gives you some options to customize your Drake as well. So it's not just a one size fits all, this is a Drake all the time. So they give you some options there. And I really like how they presented that. There's a lot of background information, a lot of things that they give you for, here's how you're going to play a Drake. Now, do keep in mind, if you are a Drake, the dragons, whether they are young dragons, ancient dragons, they want to, force you to work for them. So it can also add some extra drama into the game. So keep that in mind if you're going to play with that. Your GM, might want to take advantage of it. All right. Couple things that I thought were just kind of neutral. They didn't, I wasn't excited about it, but I also didn't dislike it. The Dragon's Shadows, or Drachenshatten, they are basically an initiatory group focusing on Saeder-Krupp security. Basically, they are the troubleshooters. They work for Scale, which is Lofwyr's troubleshooter and an enforcer type character. And so it's neat that you have an organization. If it's a GM, it's something that he can use for, the antagonist group to go up against your runners. The other thing was the Drachenshatten martial art. It is new. I did look through, compared it to the different martial arts that you get out of Firing Squad, which I still have to get a review on that one done. And I did like how Russell actually gave a good description of what it was. It is a martial art specifically to the Drachenshatten, and basically it gives you he's got a really good description of it and what it is. And effectively it gives you bonus damage to implanted, natural, or worn weapons. So if you have like a cyber blade built into your arm, or you have bone spurs coming out of your hands, things like that, it's a martial art to take advantage of those natural weapons that you have in your Drake form. And so it was an interesting idea. It wasn't something that I saw within the Firing Squad book, so it's something new, something a little different. Which I always like having more options, but it wasn't exciting either way. It fit. It was very appropriate to the book, or to the supplement that was given to us. But again, it wasn't great. It wasn't horrible, but I'm glad it's there. So it still fits in the neutral section. All right, now a couple things that I didn't like. And the first one, if you've watched any of my review videos, I say this all the time. I wish they put in more art. I wouldn't mind if it was more recycled art, art that they've been sitting on, and not having used. I mean, I realize that you do need to find appropriate art, but one piece of art approximately every 8 pages, I thought was kind of weak. Now, technically, I guess you could say there's 4 pieces of art because they do include the Saeder-Krupp logo on each of the NPCs, but it's very small, and I don't really count that. I mean, if we're talking about that, I mean the map and the design and the background of the page could technically be considered art as well, but that's not what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about like the picture right here that we see on the cover. That's what I would consider art. And we get this one. There's a sidebar piece of art and then a third piece of art later in the book. There's a couple of spots where they've got about a half a page of white space. If you're going to leave white space in the book, I'd rather see a piece of art. They could have done something, even, just a cityscape with a dragon flying over it or something. I don't know, but they needed more art. Another thing that I disliked is that there's no profile about Scale and who Scale is. I don't need the stats; those aren't important. But I could not find any background on him in any of the other books that I have. I tried doing a Google search to see if I could find anything. There's a fandom wiki for Shadowrun, and I couldn't find anything there. So I don't know who Scale is outside of it's Lofwyr's enforcer and troubleshooter. Give us some kind of information. We've got like I said, the 2 half pages of white space. We could have done something to fit a little bit of information about who Scale is. Lofwyr was featured in Power Plays. In this particular book, especially since it focuses on the Drachenshatten, I'd have preferred to see, if you're going to mention that they report to Scale, give me some background information on Scale. So, in conclusion, I really enjoyed this one. This was $4, absolutely well spent. I regret nothing, and I'm happy to have this one. I'll be honest, I do not know when I am going to use the material out of it, but to me, the world building of a role-playing game, especially one like Shadowrun, where it's taking our world and twisting it a little bit, I like to see what people do. I absolutely do recommend picking this one up. I think Russell did a really good job, and congrats on that. So, with that being said, if you enjoyed the video, please do give it a like, and absolutely, I would love it if you subscribe to the channel. I know I don't do Shadowrun stuff every week, but I like to cover a variety of topics, and so even if all you want to do is watch the Shadowrun stuff, at least subscribe to the channel so that you would see when that comes through. I do have plenty of other supplements that I need to review, and I've got board games, miniatures, all sorts of other things for Shadowrun that I'm going to be taking a look at here in next couple of months. So come along for the ride. I'd love to have you here. So with that being said, thank you for watching. I do appreciate your time, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye.